the first time you think, nothing happens. Like an angry person will be aware that he's angry, but he'll still get angry. But over time, that awareness kicks in just before you get angry. And then you control yourself, you know. So similarly with indulgence, with late nights, with scrolling, what do you call it?
Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling. Hmm? Doom scrolling then changes to self-purification. And that's a beautiful instrument that we have, a very powerful instrument. So with the intellect and this choice to act apart from your past, both of which are denied to all other creatures except the human being, we can sculpt a brilliant future for ourselves. Welcome to our podcast on the Bhagavad Gita. And this time we have another very special episode for you. We have a guest, and this time it's Anushka Joshi. She joined us, or rather, she started coming to our lectures when she was only a child. Her father brought her, and now she's very much a part of our institution and our movement. So, over to you, Anushka.
Thank you, Jayaji. It's such a pleasure to be here today and to get the chance to ask you questions. Like you mentioned, I remember when my father used to take me to your talks, I never quite understood the importance of this subject. But looking back, I can clearly see how these ideas have shaped my life and helped take some of the most important decisions of my life. So I'm eternally grateful to you for imparting these ideas, not just to me, but to thousands of people across the world.
Thank you.
So, the first question is I have been thinking about the power of a thought, and you often say, as you think, so you become. Can you expand on that?
Yes, you're right. Thought is the building block of our lives. And although one thought doesn't seem to be that powerful, but it plays its role in shaping our future. Not just our future, in the present, whatever you think translates into your emotions, into your actions, your perceptions, the way your body is, the way you react to situations. Everything is determined by the blueprint of your thought. And what's more, your thoughts determine your environment also. So, this is brought out starkly in the story from the Mahabharata, where Krishna calls Yudhishthir and says, Yudhishthir, will you do a small job for me? Yudhishthir adored Krishna and said, yes, Krishna, I'll do anything for you. He says, I have one little dirty job to be done. So I want an ace crook. Can you find me an ace crook? Yudhishthir says, sure. And he goes. Immediately after that, he calls Duryodhan and says, Duryodhan, can you please find me a God's good man? Absolutely honest, totally reliable. Duryodhan also adored Krishna. So he said, yes, of course, Krishna, I'll do anything for you. Both went around the same world at the same time and came back to Krishna. Duryodhan went back and said, Krishna, I can't tell you, I can't find one honest guy in this world. Everybody is a crook. And then Yudhishthir went and says, Krishna, you gave me such a simple job, but I can't find one bad man in the world. Everyone is good. So that is what it is. What you think, you project, and you create a world around you. Your thoughts attract like-minded people, and that becomes your world. So you see, good people are in good company. A businessman is in a group of business people, musician is with musicians, so on and so forth. So if there is anything in the environment that you don't like or that doesn't suit you, you can't go out there and change. It doesn't happen. What you must change is your thoughts. And gradually, but surely, it happens. So it's as simple as that.
Great. So the next time I complain about someone, I know that it will be about me and my mind.
Yes, it's the way you look at things. It's the way you look at the person.
So now bringing this to day life, in a day we are almost unaware of our thoughts, and it feels like we are following a set pattern, a routine. In fact, science research suggests that 90 to 95% of our thoughts are repetitive. They are identical to the thoughts we have had the previous day, which means, like, we often say that, I feel stuck in life. So how can one become more aware of their thoughts and take control of the direction they are steering their life in?
Yes. So this brings us to the subject of the intellect. That one gift that we as human beings have been given, with which we can change our lives. So the first step is to be aware. See, when the intellect is not functioning, you're not aware of what you're thinking, you're not aware of what you're doing. For instance, a person who gets angry all the time, if you confront him and say, why are you getting angry all the time? He won't even know that he's been getting angry.
Yeah.
So the first step is to bring it into the purview of awareness. So that can be done by doing a simple exercise. At the end of the day, just before you go to sleep, do a mental diary of all your activities. So in the beginning, you'll only remember a few things. I woke up, I brushed my teeth, I had breakfast, I went to work, I came back, basics. Then over time, you'll remember minute details. Like you'll say, I went out to get the lift, and the lift didn't come in time, and I got angry. I went down, I was driving to work, and someone cut into my lane, and I got angry. So, with that, you become aware of the fact that you are an angry person. Then comes the correction. So, first step is awareness. So, with this little exercise, you'll become more aware of what you're doing, your actions, and your thoughts. That's the next step. And awareness is 90% correction. Once you're aware and you realize you're doing the wrong thing, you will automatically correct. And also, this concept of being stuck is in your mind because you are not making an attempt to change. Because again, you're not aware. So, once you become aware, you realize that yes, my past thoughts have determined my present. So, they have formed a groove along which my mind is automatically going. But I can change that. We have what is known as free will, Purushartha, which is a very powerful instrument which gives us the freedom to think and act apart from our past. So, the first time you think, nothing happens. Like an angry person will be aware that he's angry, but he'll still get angry. But over time, that awareness kicks in just before you get angry. And then you control yourself. So similarly with indulgence, with late nights, with scrolling, what do you call it?
Doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling. Doom scrolling then changes to self-purification. And that's a beautiful instrument that we have, a very powerful instrument. So with the intellect and this choice to act apart from your past, both of which are denied to all other creatures except the human being, we can sculpt a brilliant future for ourselves. And it doesn't take long. You put in that effort over, depends on how strong, how deep your impressions are from the past. You put in thought for maybe a month or two, you can change.
Got it. So you become aware by this mental diary, and then you keep putting the effort consistently, right?
Yes.
And ultimately, your thoughts will turn into reality, whatever you do.
Absolutely. Yes.
But say, science says that in a day we have anywhere between 6,000 to 60,000 thoughts. So, what determines that whether a thought will become reality or will just remain an empty thought?
That depends on, see, Just as in physics, we learn the law of the parallelogram law of forces, which means that, let's make it simple. Suppose there's an object, a ball in my hand, and there are two forces acting on that object, one horizontally, one vertically, equal forces. In which direction will the object move? At 45 degrees. Now, at 45 degrees, there is no force acting on the body, but yet it goes there because 45 degrees is the resultant of the two forces, horizontal and vertical, right? Now, similarly with our thoughts. As you said, we have anywhere between 6,000, 60,000 thoughts. Where the resultant of that will take us, who knows? Because we ourselves don't know. We are not aware of our thoughts, right? So, what happens is that with consistent, powerful, conscious thinking, you can change the resultant. Because today the resultant is what it is because of unconscious, powerless, random thinking. But if you are focused in your thinking, you're aware, and it comes from a deep level of intention, then my God, you can just change anything in the world. You can change the world. Like Swami Ramatirtha had said, give me 10 years and I will change the world. Unfortunately, he didn't live long enough.
That's a wonderful insight. I'm sure many of our viewers will relate to this question. When we listen to such inspiring words, or tune into a podcast, or even study the Bhagavad Gita in the morning, we feel highly inspired. We feel like we can take on the whole world. But unfortunately, that inspiration dies. And we get distracted by what others say, or we go off at a tangent. So, how can we retain that inspiration?
Yes, that's a good point because it is a fact that it happens. Now, what we need to do is to, let's say you have been offered a buffet of ideas and thoughts, all of which are inspiration. But out of these, maybe 3 or 4 have really struck you, or could be even one. Go home with that one thought. Remember it all the time. And then after you go home, try and figure out this is what it is saying, and my life is here. Now, how do I lift myself from where I am to what this is talking about? And you keep thinking. This is called manana, reflection. The first is Shravana, where you listen or you read. Now, the proportion of Shravana and Manana should be 1:9. For every hour that you read or listen, you must reflect for 9 hours.
I don't think we are doing that.
We're not doing that at all. And then the precipitation happens. It's like you've studied chemistry, right? You're a science student. A copper sulfate solution in the lab, keep on and on concentrating it. And nothing seems to happen. It's still liquid. And suddenly, at one point, there is a brilliant crystallization of copper sulfate crystal. It's so beautiful. This is what happens with our thoughts. You keep reflecting, and then suddenly there is what I call as a creative download. Part, it appears. And then you know it. You live it. So it's like that. It's that manana that is important. And you need to pick only one idea. Why? Because that one idea helps you to unravel your whole life. It's like where there's a piece of cotton. You pick one thread and pull it. What happens? The whole thing unravels. It's like that. So your mind is a mass of different thoughts. You have to pick one thought and keep pulling. And then there is that crystallization.
This is I think, the beauty of Vedanta. The way you explain it, the way it is explained is so relatable. So next time I'll see a cotton thread, I'll refer to this, like I'll remember this example.
Yes. See, these examples and metaphors help you to remember. You don't remember the principle, you remember the examples. So this is what this has started from the Upanishadic level. The Upanishads gave examples, metaphors that we can relate to even now from ordinary everyday experiences.
So, Jayaji, please correct me if I'm wrong, but in chapter 7 of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna emphatically says, I create desire, I maintain desire, and I fulfill desire, right? So, we now know that whatever you desire, you really want, you get it. But the question is, how do we know what we want? Because often it happens, you think you crave for something, you work hard for it, you get it. And then you feel like, this is not it. I thought this would be it, but this is not what I wanted.
Yes, this happens often. Now let's go back to the verse that you referred to. How does he say I create desire? Because the truth is that we are completely full, right? So when you are full, no desire comes. It's like, suppose you've had a nice heavy breakfast and come here. Even if I suggest food to you, your mind will not entertain the thought of the food.
Yeah.
Why? Because you're full. But when you're hungry, you automatically, your mind goes towards an object called food.
Yeah.
So this is it. We are full. Paripurna, he calls it. We don't know it. So thoughts come in your mind. And these thoughts go out into the world to obtain objects and beings to fill that void. So he says, I create it because this is the way it is. This is the way our world has been created. Now, the fact that we are born means we don't know we are full, right? So, I create. I create means not Krishna creates. The fact that we are full and we don't know we are full creates these thoughts, desires. Then he says, I maintain it. Because as long as you don't know that you're full, your desire will keep going on and on and on. Which is why desire is equated to fire. It cannot be fulfilled. And that is what you're saying. But then I fulfill it, right? Because when you pursue something consistently, the result is the desire will be fulfilled. Now comes your second question, which is, how do I know what I really want? Because in your experience, in everybody's experience, we chase after a thing, we get it, and we feel kind of cheated.
Yeah.
Because this is not what I bargained for. This is not what I asked for. So you have to go back to finding out, where does desire come from? Desire comes from this void, this emptiness. And then the Shastras, the scriptures tell us, the Bhagavad Gita says, that even as you feel empty, you're not really empty. You're full. So if you go along with this, why does desire come? Because of ignorance of our fullness, which creates the emptiness. So you now understand that you don't need objects of desire. What do you need? Knowledge of your fullness. So what they say is, you go along living life at the way you are. Go fulfill desires, do whatever you want. There's no taboo to that. But spend a little time in gaining knowledge of your fullness. And then what happens? Desires automatically go. And then you reach that state of infinite happiness.
So, is the spiritual path geared towards reducing our desires and ultimately reaching to a state of no desire?
Absolutely. Because the formula is human being minus desire equals God. Never mind the state of Godhood. You just take a look at your desires now. Desire comes in the way of success. It comes in the way of your obtaining the object of desire. Because when you're obsessed with something, it never comes to you. See, the law is, you chase after a thing, it runs away from you. Turn your back on it. Even if you fake it, it comes to you. So there is this story of a US president, Bill Clinton, coming to India, and his program was all fixed. And he suddenly says, India is supposed to be a spiritual country. So I want to meet a man of renunciation. Now, where do you find a man of renunciation in India anymore now? And that to Delhi. It's a bit tough. But there's a young man in the Prime Minister's office who's smart, bright. He says, don't worry, you bring the president here tomorrow morning and I will introduce him to a man of renunciation to his satisfaction. So they are all afraid. They say, are you sure you know what you're dealing with, the President of the United States? He says, I am 100% sure. So they leave him. And he walks out of his office and he meets a young man. He sees a young man. So he says, hey, come here. Do you want a job? So the guy says, yes, sir, I've been looking for a job for the past 6 months. He says, okay, I'll give you a job. Very simple. Tomorrow morning, you see that tree there? He says, yes. You have to come and sit under that tree. And you will be offered things. All you have to do is say thank you, but no thank you. So he says, simple job. He says, yes, but you will be tempted because you will be offered a lot more than what you bargained for. If you say yes to anything, I'll expose you. You won't get anything. But if you stick to it, I'll give you 10 lakhs in hard cash just for those few minutes. So he says, okay. Next morning, he's sitting there looking like a picture of Shankaracharya. And comes president. And he's done his homework. So he's brought silver thali and fruits and this, that, and the other to offer. He offers it. He says, thank you, sir, but no thank you. Now, every time he says no thank you, he increases his offer. So he says, you live here? He says, yes. You don't have a home? No. I'll build a home for you and I will gift it to you. He says, no, sir. Why will I want a home? I'm very happy here under the tree. And then finally he's convinced that he's a man of renunciation. So he says, I'll give you $10 million to start an institute of renunciation. He says, sir, I'm already renounced. Why do I want an institution? He says, no. So the president is really convinced and he does a Sashtang Namaskar, flat. Everyone else has to do the same, including this officer who knows he's fake. So they all go away. This man rushes to his office, gets 10 lakhs in hard cash and gives it to him. He says, no, thank you. What? This was our deal, man. I was supposed to give you 10 lakhs for this performance. Yes, but I don't want it. No, thank you. Then that officer gets really angry. He says, are you mad? He says, sir, I'm not mad. You're blind. Did you not see what happened just now? For 10 minutes, I pretended I did not want anything and see what was offered to me. What will happen if I truly renounce? So this is it. Desire comes in the way of your success. Desire, as long as desire is not fulfilled, you're unhappy. And the world is not obliged to fulfill your desires. And desire keeps you stunted like a pygmy. It prevents you from growing to your full stature, spiritual development. So Krishna says, uses 4 very strong words in the 3rd chapter of the Gita to mean enemy. He says, Paripanthina, greatest enemy, desire. Vairin, Nitya Vairin, Shatru, all of which mean enemy. And what are we doing? Running after desires. The whole world is running after desire. The economies of the world are running on desire. So you have to, at some point, call the bluff of your mind. And that requires courage.
This is a wonderful story, and what's ironical is Vedanta seems to be so opposite of what the world or social media is presenting. Like you said, it's encouraging you to go after a desire. So, how does a young person who sees success or equates success to gaining more, fulfilling more desires, understand this beautiful thing of saying no, but yet maybe striving hard for it?
Yes, say you're right. Come down to the level of an ordinary worldly person. The first step is this what they call as vega, this speed, this momentum that the desire has built up. Control that with the intellect. So the first time you think a thought that, oh, maybe I need a Mercedes, it's not a criminal desire. But immediately the intellect must come in and say, number one, can you afford it? Answer is no. If the answer is no, it goes out straight away. So on and so forth. You ask yourself basic questions. The answer is no, it gets deleted straight away. But if you don't use your intellect and you allow this desire to snowball into a craving and obsession, then you're stuck. You have to fulfill that. That is what is happening now. And then the financial institutions are very happy that this is happening. Because what they say is, don't worry, buy now, pay later. This disease of EMIs has afflicted everybody. So you find young people buying like crazy when they can't afford. So 90% of their monthly income just goes in paying EMI straight away.
Very true.
And then they think they're poor. Actually, they're not. So what makes you rich? The definition of richness is the difference between your income and your desires. If your income is greater than your desires, then you're a rich person because you always have surplus. However rich you are in absolute terms, if your desires outstrip your income, you're a poor person. And today, most of us are poor because our desires outstrip your income. So, Vedanta is not against fulfilling desires. Vedanta is not against obtaining objects. You can earn and possess the whole world. But never should you desire it. The moment you desire, you won't get it, number one. Number two, you become a slave to the world. So this common, very simple truth, we must, first of all, embrace it, live it, and spread it to all our fellow beings.
Yeah, so true. I think it's so important that the young people today understand that Vedanta or spirituality is on our side. It is helping us to grow, to gain success, and to have fun in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is the first, you hit the nail on the head. The one misunderstanding that is coming in the way of a young person gaining the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita is just this misinterpretation, which has started from generations ago. So you see, our parents, our grandparents, everybody thought that, oh, this is meant for celibates. This is meant for people who go in the Himalayas, old people. And if a young person took to it, they'd say, are you crazy? So that misunderstanding must be addressed. And we have the opportunity to do it through use technology to get across to the young.
So this, Jayaji, this reminds me of a book by Lucy Hay, and it is a book about positive affirmations. She talks about how it helped her transform her life, cure cancer through inner work and powerful affirmations, along with medical treatment. But what amazed me was she mentions that she drew many of the insights from Indian scriptures. So, what are your thoughts on this? Why do you think that people today don't understand or value the incredible wisdom that India has? And if we apply it, if we tap into it, it can transform our lives in ways we can't even imagine.
Yes, as I said earlier, there is a misunderstanding. So that's one. And why has a misunderstanding come? Because we have been under foreign rule for centuries. In fact, an American philosopher who has started an ashram on Vedanta, in fact, in the United States, says that for a whole millennium, there has been a disconnect between the educated Indian and the philosophy. So let's take us. For 200 years, the British decided what we learned. Hmm? So they made a conscious effort to keep us away from our own culture. And now, I know from my upbringing, the school that I went to, it was very subtle, but it was there, that we grew up thinking everything British, everything American was good, and everything Indian was bad. So that has to be overturned now. And once we understand that, once we break this slavery of the mind, political freedom we got some 70 odd years back, but mental slavery is still there. So that needs to be broken. And we'll do it. It's happening already.
Yeah, true. So, as we come to the end of this episode almost, let's go back to the roots. We started with the power of thought, the importance of a thought. So, where do thoughts come from, and why do all of us think differently?
Good question. So if you trace back thinking, action, why does a musician sing? Why does a cricketer play cricket? Why does someone else play tennis? That action, where does it come from? Where does that spring from? A desire, right? You have a desire for music, you become a musician, desire for tennis, you become a tennis player, so on and so forth. Where did the desire come from? Thought. You think a thought and then you feed that thought, you strengthen that thought, and that thought becomes a strong desire, a thicker stream of thoughts, and then that translates into action. Now the question is what you're asking. Why is it that Virat Kohli thought cricket and his brother didn't? I don't know whether he has a brother, but I'm just saying. Why is it that you took to Vedanta and your sister didn't? Because you have a vasana for it.
Okay.
Vasana is subtle. It's beyond the intellect. So it's difficult to understand except from its manifestation. Okay? So vasana is a strong inclination, leaning towards a particular thing, a preference for a certain thing. Like one person likes sweets in food, sweet. Another person likes savory. How? Vasana. So that vasana is all your vasanas put together are what determine your personality. So it determines the way you think, the quality of your intellect, what kind of thoughts come into your intellect, the mind, what the quality of emotions you have, and action, the way you speak, the way you conduct yourself, the way you walk, everything is determined by vasanas. Okay? Now that vasanas are your blueprint. That then starts manifesting. But you as a human being have the choice of going along with the vasana or going against it. So let's say you have a vasana for material things. You can choose not to be materialistic. You have a vasana to be indulgent. You can choose not to be indulgent. So this is that you come back to that purushartha, choice, free will. But you can't deny the fact that vasana is the cause of everything that springs from it. You have the freedom to choose and change, but vasanas have an effect. And if you have been lucky enough, fortunate enough to entertain vasanas that are good, that are upward, that help you in building your future, then it's very easy. So such people are like are lucky. You can't say lucky because you've put in the hard work earlier. So when you understand this, then you don't compare yourself with others. Because you have your own journey, you have your own vasanas, which you yourself have cultivated. And if they are difficult to deal with, it'll take you time, but you will achieve it. Others may have had it easy because their vasanas blend with what they want to do now. So But when you understand it in its totality, life in its totality, you understand it's in your power. You have the power to determine your future. And then every day you wake up feeling empowered that yes, I can change or I can build my future. So it's a very, very positive philosophy. It doesn't tell you not to do anything. It doesn't tell you not to enjoy life. In fact, it enhances your enjoyment.
And can we ask, where did Vasana come from?
Vasana means ignorance.
Okay.
They're synonyms. So remember, we started by saying you are full.
Yeah.
You don't know you're full. That ignorance is vasana.
Okay.
So ignorance takes different shapes and different forms. So that's vasana.
Great. So ultimately, if you gain knowledge and you think rightly, then you can change your vasanas also by
Yes.
consistent thought. Great. So, if a viewer today is convinced, this is the last question, if they are convinced after listening to this podcast that they have this power and they can change their life, where do they start? Can you give us 3 practical things that they can do starting today?
Yes. See, first is to understand your passion in life, which is the bulk of your vasanas. Like, do I have a passion for music? Do I have interest in sport? Do I have in governance? Do I want to take to politics? Or whatever it is, business, so on and so forth. So then you know the field in which you must invest your energies. In that field, fix a higher goal. Because selfishness is not an option, it restricts you. So fix a goal that is beyond your selfish interests, but doable. At least in your mind, you understand I can do it. And then pour out all your energies towards that goal. You know? Like they say, if you're a cricketer, you must think cricket, dream cricket, live cricket, eat cricket. So that consistent application is what is important. And then backed by love for it. Because you can't put in that hard work unless you love it. You must love it, and then your body must work hard for it. All this generates a lot of energy. And then you must give up the anxiety for the fruit. Find fulfillment in the action, and then you are convinced that I will get the fruit. I have to. So there is no point in thinking about it. No point in wasting your time getting anxious about it. So then you're happy in the pursuit of your goal. You may not have achieved it. You may not even achieve it. It's okay. At least you worked for it. And that in itself is the reward. It's the hard work that is the reward because it purifies you.
So inspiring. It's so mesmerizing to listen to this in person. If Jayaji, someone wants to, they must be following the podcast, but if they want to attend an in person, say, talk or webinar, can they do that?
Yes, you've asked it at the right time because Guru Purnima is on the 29th of July, and we have a series, we have 4 events in 4 cities Mumbai, Delhi, Kolkata, and Bengaluru. And the topic is happiness, which is the most sought after topic the world over. So, those of our listeners who are interested in coming in person and enjoying the aura, the vibes, the atmosphere, please come. The talks are free. Everybody is welcome. In Mumbai, it's at Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, Chowpatty. Delhi, at Kamani Auditorium, Connaught Place. Kolkata, GD Birla Sabhagar. And Bengaluru at Nimhan's Auditorium. All the details are on our website, vedantavision.org. Please do come. Take this as my personal invitation. You will leave inspired. Thank you. Okay, so can we end with the prayer?
Yeah.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you. I'm sure you've enjoyed this wonderful episode with our special guest, Anushka Joshi. And if you like this and you want her more, please leave comments on YouTube, and I'm sure she'll oblige and come back with us.
Sure, I'll be happy to.
Thank you once again, and see you next time.